Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Booked. I'm your host, Saffron Asteria, and I'm joined today by A.L. Davidson, returning guest on Booked. Thank you so much for being here again.
I was so excited. I had to. I saw an opening and I jumped.
I'm so pleased because originally we did a recorded episode,
Mhm.
and now you've braved a live, which is honestly basically the same because you can't see the other people that are here.
No.
So it's fine. Sometimes they say things, sometimes they don't, and that's fine too. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. We've already got a fan of your book covers, which, as I said the last time I interviewed you, all of the artwork that you use is stunning.
Yeah. I know a lot of very talented people. I'm very, very blessed to have so many amazing people who are willing to collaborate with my insane ideas and just go with it.
I mean, it's a match made in heaven
Yeah.
because all of it is just so aesthetically pleasing and beautiful. We also have Grant here. Hello, Grant, fellow Womble. I don't know if you've seen any of the other episodes, but Sarah likes to ask questions about the Wombles, and I'll tell you a bit more about that when the time comes. So, for those who don't know you as a writer or at all, could you tell us a bit about what kind of things you write?
Yeah. I am at this point am kind of just a genre romance author but my subgenres are sci-fi, horror, paranormal, and monster. So it's just kind of like a little bit of the unconventional romance type of stuff along the
Mhm.
lines. And I also write straight horror, not as much as I used to, but
Yeah.
it's still there. My apartment's still Halloween themed all year round. You can't escape it.
I love that. Staying on theme. It's fantastic. So you write novels, novellas, you've got serialized novels. What are you doing the most of at the moment?
With how crazy printing costs and stuff are, I am really leaning heavily in towards the like web novel type of stuff.
Mhm.
I actually kind of prefer it because I don't have to have a fully finished product. If I have a chapter, I can just yeet it out into the universe, and it's almost like, kind of like it reminds me a lot of like back when TV used to be TV, and every Friday at the same time a new episode of your favorite TV show would drop. So it kind of has that same feeling of like my people know, like I have some people who are on my Patreon that literally have alarms set so they know when the new chapters of the things they're reading are going to drop.
That's
It's
so
just kind of a
cute.
nice little like fun lower stress for me because I don't have to have everything. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be printed. It doesn't have to be formatted. I can just like copy paste it and send it, and it's a lot more fun and way less stress than trying to get an entire book done and then proofread and then sent to the printers and formatting and so
I
much
get you.
math. So
I get you. It's a massive hassle. Sometimes it's nice having the physical printed thing,
yeah.
but sometimes if you're just like hungry for a story, then the readers are going to be like, just give it to me. I don't care how, I need to consume this thing. So do you, because you have your Patreon, obviously, and your subscribers can get different levels of particular subscriptions. So I know you have your like 18 plus, so the more steamy stuff, and then you've got your regular stuff. Do you, how much of your time do you find that you're actually writing so that you can keep getting stuff out there, or do you have a backlog of things so that you don't have to stress too much?
I typically try to have a backlog of
Mhm.
things. I actually had half of season 4 of the Night Farm, which is like my cozy Stardew
Mhm.
Valley monster romance series. I had about half of that book done before we even started book 3. So I was
Cool.
really far ahead with that, but then I've had other things going on that it's just kind of like I'm getting to the where I'm at the end of my buffer. But
Mm.
this whole month I've spent working on a new novella that only has one more chapter left. So now I have 20 more weeks worth of stuff for that book. And so I try to be better about the backlogs, but
Mm.
2026 has kind of kicked my ass with my scheduling and me being like on top of things.
I get it. I get it.
So,
Well, that's cool. I suppose it takes a lot of the pressure off if you've got something already there. But I suppose if it's like a continuous story and you're only having to put out a chapter at a time, like how long would it take you if you had to like bang one out real quick?
um, it kind of depends on what the story is, where it is in the part of it. Because like right
Mm.
now, I'm got season 3 of Lonely Planet Hotel, which is getting a little bit more into the drama side of things. So those chapters are much longer. So it usually takes me nights. But
Mhm.
writing, just like my new one is an Omega verse. And so one chapter was just nonstop smut. And that took me like 25 minutes. Pretty easy. So it just kind of depends on where they are in the story and how long it's been going. Because, like, I want to say Night Farm has 126 chapters up right now, but then like I just launched chapters 1 and 2 of this new Omega verse series, so it's like brand new, and I can still introduce the characters, and it's a lot more fluff and not as much to remember as far back as 80 chapters prior of what's going on. So especially since Night Farm also has 2 spin-offs, and those 2 are also taking place at the same time as season 3 of Night Farm, so I have to keep going back to book 3 to reference what's going on to make sure that my timelines are converging in the right spaces. So
no kidding. I was going to ask you about how you organize your plots, basically. So do you just reread it, or do you have like a document that has everything in it?
I just hope that I can remember it and then go back and check if I need to. I have never met an outline. I am one of those notorious awful pantsers that it's all just vibes. There's no, I've had one book that has a timeline, but it's because it is 8 books long and it spans 50 years with 3 sets of characters. So that one I had to have a timeline, but for the rest of it, it's kind of like, yeah, we'll just go on vibes, see what happens.
Oh, that makes me feel a lot better about not being a plotter, honestly.
No, I can't. I find that it's too much pressure to have like an outline and a plot. Like I've done a couple of gotten offered contracts for like pitch events where like we don't want the manuscript, we want to hear your pitch first. And I'm like, I can't commit to a pitch because I get 2 chapters into it and then completely change my mind about what I'm doing. It's way less stress when I can just go to like, oh, I think I'm going to completely change the love interest that people have, gotten to know at 40 chapters into a series because it just feels right.
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like you're struggling for ideas or struggling for output because you have produced so much. Like, I'd love to know what your total word count is for everything that you've done.
It's
millions.
Funny, next week, next Friday is actually the 6-year anniversary of the day that I started picking writing back up. Like, I actually have the date tattooed on my finger. Like, it's a very important date to me. It's the 27th of March was when I lost my job with COVID. And then I was like, well, I haven't had a time to sit down and write, so I'm going to sit down and write. And I started writing that 8-novel space opera. And so that's kind of like where my benchmark is. So I actually need to do my full tally of things. But I think when I did it last year, I was at 2.3 million words.
Amazing.
And so at this point, I've got to be creeping close to about the 3 million marks since the same date in 2020. So about 3 million words in 6 years. So it's about 500,000 words a year, which is...
I don't think I know that many words. You must repeat some of them.
And breaking out the thesaurus is like, I don't know what to use here. So, but yeah, the ideas never stop. I think I bought 17 covers last year. I commissioned 17 covers, and I'm like, I haven't started half of these. I just know that they're in my head somewhere.
Oh, I love that. That's a lot of confidence. I appreciate that about you. I mean, writing seems to be pretty much like your life, something that you do pretty much every day from what I gather. And you obviously really, really love telling stories. So I know that the last time that we spoke, some of your fans and followers had were like super fans of particular characters in some of your stories. Do you get things like fan art still?
Not as much as I would like, but for Halloween, I did have a couple. She made her husband dress up as my characters for their Halloween costumes. They did full cosplays and recreated one of the commissioned art pieces, which was kind of like the end all be all. I was like, oh, I have people cosplaying as my characters now, which is... I'm like sobbing in my car, like driving to Target to go get something for dinner, and I'm just like, oh no. So it was very, very sweet, and yeah, I just have really good, dedicated people that like. And then also one of those things that go back to the artist too is that they just help bring those things to life in a way that's tangible enough that people can be like, oh, I can do fan art and I can do cosplays and I know what these outfits and things look like. But that was a pretty cool little Halloween surprise there to see those characters in my feed.
So nice. What a goal. It must feel so good for people to be like, I want to bring your book into the real world. Or your story or whatever it is. So before we started the recording, you were telling me that it's Comic-Con's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a bit about that. What kind of things do you do? How do you get people to come to your stand?
It's a lot of panic and a lot of sitting there looking at my stacks of yellow and black tubs that are currently sitting in front of my DVD shelf right now because I'm trying to figure out how to pack because our convention center's at the top of a hill. And so I have to wheel all of my stuff up a hill and then wheel it up another hill and then wheel it to my table. So I like spend a lot of time taking things out and putting it back in. But for the most part, I've kind of leaned into that like farmer's market look for my booth. I have nice little fun little crates and little suitcases, and I just got a really cool new light up sign that looks like a tavern sign that has the night farm on it. It's really cool. It's like sitting over there taunting me. I should have brought it over. But it's just it's more about just making it to where it looks approachable and fun, especially at an event as big as my local Comic-Con, because it has gotten to the point that it's about the size of Dragon Con, which is a monster of an event. Like we have like half of the cast of Lord of the Rings is going to be there, and like they're just like, oh hey, we got Elijah Wood. And it's like, okay, cool.
I think I'd do a shit
that for me. Which I also found out that he's also DJing at a local club downtown after he wraps up. I'm like, what are you? He's side quest king. Like, okay. It's like, we're gonna go visit him at Comic-Con and they go hang out at one of our local clubs while he DJs a Lord of the Rings themed set. I was like, what are you doing?
Stop it. I would so break it down to that.
I was like, okay. But yeah, it's mostly just about the design and keeping things elevated so people can see and making it interesting. And I had someone once tell me you have to treat con goers like they're toddlers. Anything that moves and is shiny and sparkly and will catch their attention is what you need. So I have like things that'll dangle off the side of my like booth and things like that. And they're right. They're so right.
That's hilarious. I've heard very similar things from other people, especially even just like regular local book events. Because you're competing for everybody's attention, and you've got a mixture of vibes for your work, but there is some, I can't think of the word, some harmoniousness. I think that's a word, but we'll go with it. To what you do, and you definitely have really good branding. So I imagine that really helps when you're like picking out things and trying to attract people. And I'm sure that when people first sort of look into what the descriptions of your stories are and what you're all about, they'll know pretty quickly whether or not it's something that they would enjoy. Yeah. That's very cool. Do you enjoy going to in-person events?
I do. I love it. It's my favorite thing. Like I genuinely get sad at the end of Comic-Con the same way I get sad when I get on the airport coming home from Disney. Like it's the same level of just like, it's like, oh, my little like vacation, because you spend all weekend with the people who are around you in your booths and you get to make connections and you're just hanging out talking to other people who are just excited to nerd out and with cosplays and things like that. So it's one of my favorite events of the year, and I'm getting to get to do my first out-of-state Comic-Con later in the summer as well, so I kind of get to branch out and go see what other things are like too, and it's
exciting.
It's fun. I would do it. If I physically could and financially could, I would probably try to do one like every single month. I have friends that do that, and I'm like, I don't know how you are not like broken in half from having to lug around your full color comic books to multiple events every single month, but it's fun. It's a really fun time.
Yeah, I suppose also like everyone's there for pretty much the same reason, and that always helps. Like I find like it's like going to concerts, for example. I hate being around people. Hate it. I'd rather just sit in a little hovel by myself. But then when you're somewhere where everybody is there for the same reason and you're all excited about the thing that you've come to see or do, and the vibe is different.
Yeah.
It's electric, it feels good. It does make you feel really, really excited, and I really must force myself to go to some cons or something like that, because I feel like I'd probably enjoy it. It's just the idea of all the crowds and the body odor. I just can't. It's very sweaty when you're in a room full of people, and it stresses me out because I'm very sweaty. Not that you needed to know that, but it's just that the whole thing is just like a mixture of horror for me, and not the good kind, not the kind that I like. But yeah, so that's very cool. I'm super happy for you, and hopefully you'll post pictures on Instagram because I want to see what your stall looks like.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be updating it because I've got the new sign just kind of brings everything together, and then I also have like little lavender sprigs that I stick out of like my suitcase and stuff. It's funny. It's all very wood and purple coat, and of course I bring Reese with me. He's kind of the star of the show because he's life size, so he's really fun to have over there too. But it's just, I think at this point I'm like, okay, I've finally gotten the booth look down. And I just have a blast. The only thing that I don't like is like VIP hour starts at 9:30 in the morning, and I don't believe that time is real. Like that is so early in the morning to have to be driving downtown and like pretending to be awake.
Should know their audience better. I'm not being funny.
Oh yeah, no. I think it's just because there's so much to do that they want to like we're going to be paying lots. Because I mean, we had our star person last year was David Tennant, and
he's amazing.
He was like doing our panel, and Andy Serkis was also there, and he'd like closed out the convention every single night. And so you have the people that are like, oh, I'm going to be spending 2 hours in line waiting to go see David Tennant. I want to still be able to go and shop. So like, I understand, but okay, this is so early in the morning.
Then start later and end later.
That's what I was saying.
Like, I don't know about you, but like I'm a gamer and I don't subscribe to early mornings. I think that's bullshit. But I will scroll away and do work at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I'd much prefer that. I feel like everybody going to Comic-Con would.
Yeah. But then how will Elijah Wood go DJ his set?
Do it at the convention.
Okay, could you imagine?
Yes, I could, and I would go. That would sell it for me, actually. You know he's gonna have some bangers on that set.
Oh yeah, because Sean Astin's also gonna be there, and like the guy who plays Gimli's gonna be there. We also have like Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. Like this is just gonna be an insane convention weekend, and I'm stuck behind my booth, but it'll be fun because it's fun to see how the cosplays and the merchandise and the fan art shift from year to year depending on who the big headliners are. So like I'm gonna see so many cool like Lord of the Rings cosplays and lots of Supernatural stuff, and it's gonna be a really fun time. It's just I'm gonna survive load-in on Thursday first. Then we're going.
I believe in you. You're gonna be fine.
So it'll be good. So long as it's not raining, because it's currently 17 degrees outside right now, and it was snowing last night. So I'm like, just needed to not do that next week.
You might need to set up your stall down the bottom of the hill and leave a sign up the top.
I'm gonna pat it. I was like, oh no. So love the Midwest.
So you have the Lonely Planet Hotel coming to Kickstarter. So I thought it would be important for us to talk about that because Kickstarters don't last forever. So could you tell us a bit about that and what you are kickstarting and how people can support? I will make sure that the link goes into the chat as well.
Yep. So Lonely Planet Hotel was my second web novel idea, but it actually premiered the day after The Night Farm because I wanted to like combine the two of them because I was trying on a new platform. Can I help you, Miss Ma'am? To be in the middle of everything. She doesn't like when I'm talking to people that aren't her. And so like anytime I'm in like an interview or like a phone call, she's just screaming bloody murder in the background unless I'm like holding her like a baby. And then she has to chew on me while she does it. So it's very distracting.
Hold her, it's okay.
She's all 12 pounds of her just to be sitting there like standing there on my lap. Mess. Yeah, so Lonely Planet Hotel is a cozy slice of sci-fi series. So it is about a young man who decides to take a job sight unseen in Antarctica in a resort that is kind of like a health spa rehabilitation place for the rich and elite. And he doesn't know what he's walking into. He has to leave all of his technology behind, and it's just kind of the story of the life of the hotel staff for a very exclusive resort that is isolated and completely hidden from public knowledge in the middle of the Arctic wasteland. So it's very sweet. It has some coming of age moments, sweet little like slow burn romance between two ace main characters. And so it's kind of different, atypical main romance and very diverse cast because you have so many different people coming from different places and different walks of life to work at the hotel and stay at the hotel, and it's a very fun series. This is for the January season, which is book 1. Book 3 is currently on Patreon, which is the last one's going to be January, February, and March because each season is a month, and so it's kind of like following each different season of real life and in the hotel. So I'm just doing the Kickstarter to bring the print edition to life because it's been out now since I first teased it in 2023. So it was like teased a while ago, and then it premiered in 2024. But it didn't take off the way that Night Farm did. So all of my time and focus went to Night Farm.
Of course.
So, because it was that kind of the big deal. And so, but I stopped uploading that one to the Tapas platform and made it a Patreon exclusive after season 2. But I kept Lonely Planet up because it didn't have as big of a fan base. And I'm like, oh, now it's starting to kind of grow, and I should probably like look into getting that also into a print edition and things like that. So the original goal was to launch the Kickstarter on the 1st of April, but then I remembered I have Comic-Con coming up and I should probably launch it during Comic-Con. So I'm looking at launching it on the 28th, which is the next Saturday.
Oh, cool.
So then it'll be just like, it's like 4 days earlier. It's like, which is going to throw my brain off because the Kickstarters are only 30 days. And so like my ADHD brain's like, oh, but it has to be the span of the whole month. And I'm like, no, it really doesn't have to be. It really doesn't have to. But I'm really excited for it. It's cover's gorgeous. I love working with Sam. He does an incredible job with all of my art. And yeah, it's just a fun cover. We're looking at getting like the diamond foiling on the cover so all the stars will sparkle. So I'm
have to do that.
Very excited. So that's one of our stretch goals, but that's going to be a super exciting thing to do. I have not recovered yet from the Kickstarter we just did with my publisher that just ended like a couple of days ago too. And I was like, oh, there's so much going on.
Well, what was that for?
That was for my first web novel that got picked up by a cozy sci-fi and fantasy publisher. And so they're doing kind of like a printed version of that. So I was a little bit more hands off with that one, but it's also still like the stress of another Kickstarter that I didn't have any control over. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, how did it go?
So it went good. We hit goal.
Fantastic.
So, and I think it's slated to release the 26th of July. I think
it's really soon.
Yeah, it was when it's supposed to come out because it's 2 parts. So the first one is going to be in the summer, and then I think the part 2 is going to be in the spring of the following year. So it'll be fun. But that means that almost all of my web novels now have print editions coming, which is super fun. And it's also one of those things too, like the internet's weird, Patreon's weird. Like you never know when things are just gonna like go away or stop working. So it's nice to also have physical versions of those too. So they're just like, it's fun. And it also brings in new audiences because Kickstarter is so diverse with the people that come and are looking at things. And I found a whole bunch of my international readership for Night Farm on Kickstarter of all places.
Cool.
And so it's kind of nice to be able to like go, oh, I have a huge readership in France for some weird reason now. And so now they can, have options to get those as well. So I like doing Kickstarters. They're stressful, but they're so fun.
Yeah, I imagine they're really, really fun when they're successful.
Yeah.
I bet I have toyed around with the idea of using Kickstarter, and I'm scared of not succeeding. I'm scared. The fear is too much for me.
I always set my goal lower than what I actually need and just know that I have to pay some of it out of pocket for it. But so far I've done 7 of them on my own, and every single one of them's hit goal. But it's also like my goal is like $900. So it's
also super achievable.
Yeah, so I try to keep it inexpensive. I'm like, hey, here's the goal. This will help us cover the initial printing costs and whatever else we need, and anything else we get after that then covers the rest of the stuff, and then we can get into the fun stuff like stickers and bookmarks and things like that. So I try to make it more reasonable for all parties involved.
That's cool. Oh, I'm glad. So we have a question. We do have a Womble question already from Sarah. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the Wombles, but I will tell you a little bit about them if you haven't.
I have not.
Okay. These creatures, it's from a British kids show. So obviously you've never heard of it. That's okay. They are these creatures that have like triangular faces, kind of like a big mouse, and they wear clothes. And they scurry around Wimbledon in London, and they collect recycling. I think it's from like the 80s ish. I never remember when it is.
It sounds very 80s.
Yeah, super 80s. And Sarah would like to know, would these creatures, from what you know about them, would they be allowed to go to the Lonely Planet Hotel? Would they be welcome?
I mean, I guess it would depend on how busy the season is. They only have 16 rooms in the hotel, so as long as they're there too and can survive the Arctic wastelands to get there, I wouldn't see why not.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why there would be some challenges for them, because they have fur, but they don't wear very much clothing, and they're very tiny. But they could share a room.
They could.
They could share a room. There are a lot of them. I think maybe there's 8 or 9 of them, so they'd have to share a room. I can tell. So I don't know if that helps you, Sarah, but it might be worth speaking with the Wombles and seeing if they'll share a room.
They would probably have more fun at the night farm. Honestly, big open spaces in the mountains with a town full of monsters and cryptids. I think they'd have a little bit more fun there.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I mean, I like being chilly because I like being under a blanket, but not for an extended period of time. Like, it's gotten chilly here, and I'm cool with it because I know that living in Texas tomorrow, I'll get sunburn.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there is also an ebook and Patreon sale going on right now for the Trans Rights Readathon. And so that is to raise awareness for Trans Day of Visibility on March 31st. So tell me more about that. How can people take part? What is it for? Give us some info.
Yeah, so it is a yearly event that kind of runs like the second half of March every year, and it's mostly just to help raise awareness for trans organizations, trans people, fundraisers, all the fun awareness type of stuff that is really needed. And it's run by the Trans Rights Readathon, which is like an actual organization, and they'll do like challenges of like, here's books that you can read that fall under this umbrella and this umbrella. And a lot of authors will be like, hey, here's a sale where we're raising money for certain local organizations. And it's just kind of a really fun way to support the group, but also like diversify your reading, because it's like, oh, here's a bunch of trans books by BIPOC authors that you've never heard of, and nonfictions and things that are in different subgenres. So it's a really fun, just like celebration of literature and transness. And so I've got my ebooks, and I also have, because I have so many of them on characters that are trans and non-binary and gender fluid stuff in my web novels as well, and I'm having the sale for my Patreon, just kind of people have a variety of options of things to dive into. It's one of those things that, especially as a horror romance author, I feel like transness and horror with like body horror and psychological horror, and especially religious horror and things, there's a lot of subgenres in the horror sphere that really ties into that. So it's an event that I always really enjoy taking part in, and I started my sale really early because I just like felt like it. I guess that's the nice thing about doing everything on my website, not on Amazon, or it's I can do whatever I want when I want. So
it's good to have that kind of freedom, and you get the opportunity to support something that you really care about. And I was having a read because I hadn't heard of it before, or if I had, it wasn't something I remembered. But I saw that they are decentralized, so it's not a case of them raising money for their specific charity. It's a case of just encouraging people to take part, and I thought that was really nice.
Yeah,
it's something that makes it really accessible for people to take part in, and yeah, I love it, actually. It's really nice.
Yeah, and they're doing a new thing this year where they're like actually making a database for indie authors that you can upload your books with the links, and like, here are all of the tropes that it falls into and all the different subcategories. So they're making it really accessible for people. They have a bunch of storygraph challenges, and it's become a much bigger thing, which I think is really cool, because it's just more of just like hey, we're just going to collaborate because we can, and it's not for any one specific thing, it's just for all of it. And I always have a lot of stuff to add to my own list of books that I don't have time to get to, but still get anyway. So it's a fun time. It's really a fun thing that, helps raise awareness and gets you more books and helps other authors connect, which I also think is really fun. I've met a lot of other people who are like close to me that I didn't know they were also like
Cool.
trans and gender non-conforming authors. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, hey, I had no idea that you were also local. And it's just a really nice community event that's,
Oh,
you know,
that's nice.
yeah.
So how long have you been taking part? Is it like your second year? Has it been going on longer?
I believe it's my second year because I've only just hit, I think I just hit my my second year of having books out because there's 20, yeah, so because October was the second year debut of my second anniversary of my debut, so this will be my second year taking part in it. But I had um picked up a few books from the year prior as I started to get into it, sort of thing. And stuff. But yeah, I enjoy doing those sorts of community events. I wish there were more of them, but I know they're also a pain to organize. So
Yeah. I mean, I suppose that's the beauty of having it just as a like designated raising awareness thing rather than like an actual organized thing where you have to like get in contact with tons of people and make sure they're doing the right things. So they're just like, oh, take part, and that's the whole point. And I like that. That's a really cool setup.
yeah, it was nice. It's like you have the designated hashtags and you kind of have the links and everyone. That's the nice thing is then you can click on the tag for the year and just see everything that's going on. There's a group that's it's a monster romance library that also does the same thing, that it's all they started to do something different this year, that it's every month is a different theme of a different monster. So like right now it's March, and then last month was February, so it's like fae and fairies and things like that. And they're also doing the same thing where it's like a database of, if you want to take part of it, and if you have a specific, monster subgenre you like, we're going to be posting links about it and helping you get connected and finding new authors and things like that. But it's all very low stress and community driven, which I really like. And so I finally convinced somebody to do Minotaur because I love Minotaurs. I was like, mermaids have been taking over May for too long. It's time for the Minotaurs now. And so it's just fun stuff like that. But it's nice when you have the community aspect of it, especially since that was such a big part of Twitter back when Twitter didn't suck.
Yeah, when it was good.
A lot more of that stuff going on, and now it's just not. And so it's nice to see that kind of returning and coming back again on things like Instagram. And I'm not on Threads because I like my sanity and I don't like drama, so I don't have a Threads. But that's a lot of stuff over there is getting organized on that too. So it's kind of a nice to see that building back up for the weird niche genres and people groups.
That's cool. I tried with Threads and it just is soul crushing.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Like you'll get a flurry of people that are like, yeah, cool. And then you'll just get horrible people and then they dogpile. And I don't like that.
Yeah. I was telling my friend like right after Thread launch, I was like, this is why Twitter had character limits. Is because you take it away on Threads and people's opinions start getting louder and longer and it starts getting more and more toxic. And she's like, no, that's not it. I was like, yeah, no, watch. It's gonna be chaotic. And then within a couple months it was just nonstop drama. And I was like, I don't need this. That was when I did my social media purchase. I was on everything. I was on Blue Sky and Twitter and TikTok and Tumblr. And so I just like went through and I think I cut down like 3/4 of my social media accounts and just deleted them and just like, oh, this is really nice and helpful and less stressful to deal with.
Yeah. I had high hopes for Blue Sky and then I was like, this is shit as well. Don't like it.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah. I use it because it's there and sometimes it helps. And I've noticed a lot of my people that are from Twitter are over there, so that people want to keep up with. I just kind of go and stalk them over there on Blue Sky.
Well, at least you can still find them. Yeah, because there were a bunch of people that left. I nearly left Twitter a little while ago, and I thought, I've tried so hard to build up this follower account. And if I'm really careful, engagement's okay. But I just find myself spending less and less time there. And I'll post something and I'll think that's something that's funny or whatever. And I'll put it out there and I get a ton of replies. And I think, I don't want to respond to them now. I'm done with it. I made the joke. Just laugh and move on. I don't really want to. I find it really hard because there are loads of people that I want to talk to. But if I want to talk to them, they've got my email address usually.
Yeah.
Or, some other way of contacting me. And I've just found like I've deleted all of the social media off my phone because I just can't cope with it anymore. It's so miserable.
Yeah.
It's just doom all the time.
Yeah.
And not even a fun kind.
No.
Just the crap kind where
I
you feel
use mine. I use mine for my web comics so I can
bad.
catch up on my daily reading and my like stuff for my events. And like that's about all the where I use my phone for anymore.
Yeah.
So I need to have a way to take credit card payments.
See, that's one of the cool things about technology that I like is that
Yeah.
you're able to do stuff like that. But I don't want people to be able to reach me that easily.
Same. I was like, if you need to find me, I have a website. There's a contact form. I'll get to you when I get to you if I need you.
I even struggle responding to my family sometimes because I just think,
Yeah.
I love you, but I don't want to talk to anybody right now.
Yeah, same. I was like, it's like football season is the worst, and I was like, there's these constant group chats, and I don't care, and I was like, I don't want I don't want to talk to you about football, and so I just like ignore everything, and then I miss something important because it's lost amongst the football. And it's like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was supposed to respond to that. It's like my sister had a surgery. I didn't know that. And I was like, oh, you were talking about like the Super Bowl, and I didn't know it's because I was so zoned out because I just don't care about the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I like because I've got like my British side of the family and then my in-laws. And thankfully, like my British side of the family, they're pretty quiet. They just say like happy birthday when people have birthdays and things like that. And I use it to send links to my live shows and stuff, and that's kind of it. And then my husband's side of the family, thankfully, there are like separate group chats about subjects that are, there's like a Pokemon one and a meme one and a, another one for like fantasy football, and it keeps it out of my view. And if I don't want to be in it, then I'm not, and then I'll leave. I think I've been known to just leave chats because I can't be bothered. I'm not interested. Too many. My friend Fee said to me a long time ago, and I'm inclined to believe her, is that group chats are doomed to fail. Because once you get past two people, which is just a one-way chat, really, or two-way chat, it's too much. It's too much. Don't like it.
Yeah. Well, now all my siblings are married, so it's gotten bigger, and I'm just like, I don't need to know what your dog is doing in its sweater right now. I don't really care. It's like, I love you, but I've seen your dog.
Oh no, see, those are the updates I'm here for. I just want dog updates. Like, oh, your dog got a haircut. I want to see that. I'm a fan of that. But everything else, I'm like, no. So, getting back to your writing, because that's kind of the point of this. I know obviously you've got your Patreon and you do regular updates for that. So this might be a kind of like difficulty question to answer, but what are you currently working on? Is there anything new that you haven't told us about yet? Do you have like a schedule where you write specific things on specific days?
Right now, the only thought in my head is this Omegaverse book that I have been working on, and it has 2 more chapters, and I'm glad because it's one of those I keep trying to work on other things and I just can't. And I'm like, okay, I need to get this done and over with and scheduled so I can go back to other things. Because I had a book that was supposed to be coming out during Comic-Con. I haven't finished it yet because I've been busy with other things. So that's been what has taken up most of my time this month specifically, just because it's one of those that was just like, it was there and it demanded to be written, and so I did it. And but everything else I have is kind of been shifted back by like a month and a half. So I have a pretty that's the nice thing about doing things the way that I do, is that I can do what I want and change my schedule when I want and release when I want. So it's more of just the fact of like remembering how many pre-orders I've gotten when it's time to actually order them. Because I tend to forget. I was like, oh yeah, people have like ordered this and I don't remember. But yeah, most of this year was catching up on Patreon backlogs, and then I had to do the edits for the book that was the last Kickstarter. So after I finish up this one and kind of get my Patreon back to where it is, I'm going to be starting the edits for Lonely Planet, so then I can send it off to my proofreader. So because it'll be interesting because the web novel version of that for season 1 hasn't really been touched since the end of 2023, beginning of 2024. Or no, I guess it was 2024 and 2025. And so it's one of those that I'm just like, I've changed a lot in my writing and stuff, and it'll be interesting to go back and give that fresh edits and bring it up to match my current writing style and stuff like that. I think the only other big thing is that Timber Ghost has very nicely demanded another book for the Scientists, Spaceman, and Stars Between Them.
Really?
Yeah, so I had told them, I was like, I have a weird idea for a spin-off. And I was like, I don't know if that's something you're interested in. And they're like, we need it for the 2027 release. So I was like, okay. So I guess we have to like work on that now, which it'll be fun. It's the takes place at the exact same time on a different ship parallel. So it's
cool.
Going along the same timeline, but you get to see another group's whole descent into what happens in that book at the same time as what's going on with the other ship. And I think the main character in this one is probably the most twisted and demented character I have ever written. He's been so fun to work on because he's not in a loving, happy relationship like London and Temple. He's crazy. And so it's kind of more fun to lean into the more mad scientist-y side of all the chaos that's happening. But it also means I had to sit back down to like reread that other book because there's now been 12 other books between that one and this one. I'm like, I don't remember anything. So that'll be fun to get down and work on that too. So
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've got to wait a year.
A lot of people were really, really excited about it. I'm like, yeah, no, I was like, no, there's more to that I can write. Like there are other ships and other crews and things that I can dive into. And
you've basically got a universe out there
that
you can tap into. So I think that's great. I think what I appreciate about what you do is that you have the opportunity to pretty much go anywhere with whatever you're doing, and you must never get bored of writing because you've got like a limitless opportunity.
No. And I'm one of those people that like I can see like a meme post and be like, oh, I could come up with a whole prompt for that and have a whole book idea figured out in the span of 5 minutes. And that's just how it's always been and how it's always worked. And it's just funny because it gets me into trouble though, because I was like talking to a friend and it's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we did like a whole variety of minotaurs and each one was like a different breed of cow? And that conversation led into now a possible minotaur themed dating sim about a minotaur rugby team. I know nothing about rugby.
I mean, it's the perfect sport for a minotaur.
That's what I was saying. One of my best friends writes rugby romances. And I was like, I don't understand a single thing that's going on. And it's so very British. And I'm like, this is beyond the British of like the stuff that I see on like BritBox subscription. Like this is a level of British that's just like way too British for me to understand what's going on. But I'm having fun. I don't understand a single thing that's going on. But it's a bunch of hot men playing rugby and tackling each other. So it's like,
pretty much it.
It's basically, and it's a romance. Sweet.
I have to ask, what kind of things do you watch on BritBox?
I am a small town murder mystery junkie. I love like Broadchurch and I love Grantchester and I love like all of those fun little like I love a good mystery type of thing. And I'm really fascinated with how like crime procedural stuff happens in other countries. I have like a whole selection of like detective stories from Japan, and I have one of the detective series from Norway. And so it's just really interesting to me to see how those things differ from place to place. But yeah, I'm just like, yeah, give me a hot priest who is solving small town crimes with detective and in his small English Hamlet. I was like, I want all of it, please and thank you.
Okay. So Sarah said that she loved Broadchurch.
I love Broadchurch. That's my favorite thing David Tennant has ever been, and I think it's his best role. He's so good in it.
He is. And also, have you seen Midsummer Murders?
That is on my list. I am waiting to have enough brain cells where I'm not being distracted by other things to actually pay attention.
I love Midsummer Murders. I used to watch that as a kid. Because, normal.
Yeah,
normal things and stuff.
I mean, my favorite TV show when I was like a teenager was the IT Crowd and Black Books. Like I like
Black Books.
I love Black Books.
I knew I liked you.
My entire like shelf on my DVD section, the entire top row is nothing but like stuff from like Channel 4 and like BBC. And it's like I have like their, like, Walking Dead series in the flesh on DVD. Like, I like, I have some niche, like, British TV on my shelf, so it's like I have enough knowledge to know that if I'm, like, being thrown a, like, British book that I can understand enough of what's going on and the
You got
nuances
the classics.
of yeah, you know? I do.
Oh,
I really do love the IT crowd, it's so
I love the IT crowd. And also, did you ever watch? It wasn't a comedy, and now I'm forgetting what it's called. It was a show called Misfits.
No, I have heard that's one I
Oh,
need to watch. It's
you
also
should.
another one that's yeah.
It's very good. Misfits, for anyone that hasn't seen it, is like they're a group of young people that are doing basically like jury service, sort of.
Yeah,
And they all get superpowers, and it's fantastic, and very sassy.
that sounds up my alley.
Yeah, big fan. It was very, very good. Yeah, I'm very pleased that
Yeah.
you have a British thing going on.
Oh, yeah, no, like, that because I guess for me, it's like everyone, like, loves Matthew Berry now, it's like, no, I knew the OG running into the chapel screaming, "Fuck!"
Mother! Yeah.
Like, I know Matthew Berry. Like, yeah, that was my whole, like, all of my teens into my 20s was
Amazing.
all of that stuff, so,
I'm
yeah,
so pleased. I'm gonna start sending you memes now.
please do. But, yeah, it's just one of those, and I just keep getting drug into things like, "No, yeah, now I have to learn about rugby, so I'm gonna have an insane knowledge of rugby and cow breeds."
There were a ton of them, so
I
you've got a
know.
lot to pick from, and they
I
all
was
look
like
very different.
I was like, "Oh, it'll be fun because then you can, like, make it to, like, a very culturally diverse group of people because you have a bunch of different cows and different cow
Yes.
breeds." I wrote a 7,000 word, it was like 20-page long short story about a shark monster romance because that was what my Patreon people voted for Valentine's Day because they're all just the same kind of freaks as I am. Um,
Fantastic.
I give them creative freedom and they tell me, please give us shark romance." Like, okay. And so I had to spend like 3 hours learning about shark anatomy
Of course you yeah.
to
You did it right.
make it accurate. And I learned so much about how sharks work in more ways than I wanted to.
Well, as long as you didn't linger too much on the videos.
Yeah, I was in the research articles from like the marine biology websites.
Oh, research.
I did. I need to know what their skin texture feels like,
Mhm.
because if they're getting freaky, I need to know what that's gonna feel like.
Yeah.
And just the things like, I have a character who is a half Gorgon, so he's got, like, the snakes for the hair, and it's like, now I had to learn about snake anatomy. There's, like, the things you do as a monster romance author.
I love that you're being as authentic with it as possible. I'm a big fan of that.
I don't think my brain would let me not be authentic. Like, I had a book that was, like, set in, like, the 1950s, and I had one passing line about the type of light bulbs, and so I had to sit and look at what kind of light bulbs were actually
Mhm.
standard in that time period for one line in a short story.
I imagine that your brain is full of things.
I'm really great at Trivial Pursuit.
I bet you are. And
I
I also
really
bet you'd be really good at a pub quiz.
yeah, yeah.
I want Sarah to share this in case you need an extra bit of shark information. Sarah, please do give us that bit of info. I'm sure it would be very
They have
useful.
they have asked for more sharks.
There you
So
go. This might be it. Maybe it'll be an Icelandic shark
yeah,
romance.
because I did a whale shark, the one that's a little, like, with the little spots
Oh, I
and
love
stuff, because I wanted it to be cute, and I wanted to be a really big, dumb himbo, and and he was, and everyone loved him.
That's excellent. So while Sarah's getting her Icelandic shark fact together, there are two questions that I usually ask people before the end of a show because this time has gone by very, very quickly. So the first question, I don't remember if I asked you this before. So if I have, perhaps the answer has changed. But what does success look like to you as a writer?
Oh gosh. And, I think it's different for me because I actually had one of my publishers ask me, like, something similar because 'cause they're like, "Well,
Mhm,
well, like, why don't you put anything on Amazon?" I was like, "Guess I don't really care, that's not the point," and I think for me,
mhm.
it's just getting to tell as many of the stories as I do, and I was like, "If I have, like, 10 people read it, that's enough," but it's the thing that I enjoy doing. And I think the fact that I'm just doing what I want when I want has kind of made things very successful. At this point, I think I've gotten 57 award nominations or something
Incredible.
stupid. I'm like, this is a stupid number of nominations for the dumb things that I write, but it's just people like it and they connect with it because it's real and it's not what is considered traditional. I don't use like the traditional editing methods. I just do my weird flowery writing and things are too long and the subject matter is weird and I found my people and they dig it. And so that for me that's, you know, I'm good at that point. It's just like I'd like to be able to make sure I get all my stuff done before the world explodes on us. Like I need to finish Night Farm at least.
Yeah, you've got to give us that.
Yes, enough. Yeah, but you know, at this point, I think I would consider myself pretty successful just for doing the stuff that I like doing and not listening to what other people say.
Oh, that's really nice. I really like hearing that people are happy with what they're doing, and you definitely seem to be doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Sure. Before I ask my last question, so I read ahead this fact. I don't know if you've read it yet. I'm going to share it on the screen now, and it's very funny. In Iceland, they give fermented shark meat to tourists and tell them it's fermented in their own sweat. But sharks sweat out their pee. It's fermented in pee.
No.
There you go. Fact check. I'm not going to do that. I'm just talking about gospel truth, and this isn't Google.
My Google history is so messed up. I could probably look and it wouldn't look any weirder than normal.
That's fine. I'll let you do that, but I'm just deciding that that's true. Whether or not it is, I don't know. I'm not going to ask for any proof. That's not what this show is about.
There's your new icebreaker at parties. Is did you know?
Did you know? Did you know? Thank you, Sarah. I genuinely didn't know I needed to know that, and I'm glad that I do. Yeah, I love a weird fact like that.
Me too.
So you said that you officially like picked up writing and doing it pretty frequently about 6 years ago. Did you start, were you like a writer before? Did you write stories? Is it something that you were previously interested in?
Yeah, I started writing my first like YA novel book type of thing when I was 10. But when I was in elementary school, because I was homeschooled, if you couldn't tell by the everything about me, but my mom had gotten me this, it's an incredible program, and I recommended it to literally anybody who asked of like, how did you get started in reading? And they keep making new editions of it. And it's called Storybook Weaver. And you basically have a screen and it gives you like drag and drop elements and then a text box at the bottom, so you can literally just write your own little books. You can like, they'll have like animals and like buildings, and so you can kind of set up your own little stories. And so me and my best friend would sit there and do that after like homework and stuff on afternoons and just make stories of like us going on Pokemon adventures and things like that. I started doing that when I was like in second grade. So that's always been something that's been very there and prominent, and I've known since I was like in middle school, like, no, this is what I wanted to do. And I did have a book published with the Vanity Press when I was in high school, which is a fun whole nother story. Like apparently that company shut down and then got sued multiple times for it. So, you know, the stereotypical Vanity Press drama, but it was one of those that just like life and adulthood and college and everything get so busy that I just didn't have time. And then it gave me time. And then after that, I was like, well, I'm making more money on unemployment and I'm having more fun. I'm gonna keep doing it. And at this point, I did that obnoxious social media thing where they're like, I'm gonna quit my job and pursue my dreams thing. And that's what I did. And
you're still doing it.
And it worked. Like I have a part-time job at a haunted museum helping with ghost tours and weddings at the barn, and I do that whenever we're busy. But other than that, I spend most of my time like messing around on Canva, making marketing and writing and formatting, and you know, I did that obnoxious millennial thing, and it worked out. So it took time. That was the thing too, is like I didn't just like start writing in 2020 and then release things. Like I did the whole, my like space opera is 1.3 million words long. So I got that done first. And then it's not even done yet. It still has like 2.5 books that need to be done. But then it's like, oh, I started doing the short stories and then the novellas, and I tried the querying thing and finding an agent. And so I went through all the trials and errors, and then I just the Kickstarter for my debut, and it went really well. And I did the other weird thing of like, oh, debut books never sell more than 100 copies in their lifetime. Mine sold over 350 copies in its first year.
Wow.
So it's just kind of like one of those things like, yeah, just kind of like building up the fan bases and doing the thing and sticking to it. And yeah, it's been worked out. It worked out. It's fun.
That's cool. So if you could give yourself any advice, if you were to go back to the first time you started writing and taking it seriously 6 years ago, if you could give yourself any advice, what would you give?
Don't waste the year that you did trying to get an agent. Because you're still paying off the $34,000 ER visit that came from the stress of it.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I got so stressed because apparently I didn't know that January was when agents cleaned out their inboxes. And so I got 7 back-to-back rejections in the span of 4 days. Oof. And I also had a small publisher that had a book that they had a book of mine on their shortlist for 13 months that also came in at that same time. And the stress just hit me so hard that I ended up having to go to the ER because I'm like, I think I'm having a heart attack. I'm like, no, you're just stressed out. And the next thing I know, it's like, here's a $34,000 bill for the hour you were here taking a nap. Yeah. So I'm still paying on that. That was January 2024. So it was like some of the point I was like, I don't really need to do the agent thing because in this span of all the time that I was querying, I had my first successful Kickstarter. I ended up selling 3 books to small presses. Like I was doing well enough on my own. They're like, you don't really need to do this. So it's you don't have to do that route or anything. You can just kind of. That's a nice thing about the way publishing is nowadays is you can do it on your own and be successful with it, and probably more successful than a lot of traditionally published stuff is.
Well, at least you found your way and you found your people and you found the thing you're supposed to be doing. So I'm really happy for you. And I'm really glad that you feel successful because it certainly seems that way from the outside anyway. This has been so much fun. It was really nice to have you on again. And if you enjoyed this, go watch the recorded episode. It's only a couple of months ago. So, go do that. Give everybody a reminder. So A.L. Davidson has a website. Go visit it. There's a bunch of stuff on there that you want to see. And hang on, it's in my notes. Lonely Planet Hotel is coming to Kickstarter. Can you remind me of the date that starts? 28th?
I have changed it to the 28th as of an hour ago. So
28th. So go check that out. Support. And also there is an ebook and Patreon sale, which is going on until the 31st of March, which you can find. I believe it's on your website as well.
Yep.
Cool. Excellent. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you, people, for watching. If you watched it live, thank you. If you're watching the recording, thank you as well. You made it to the end. I'm proud of you. Unless you skipped all the way to the end, in which case, go watch the rest of it. Don't be cheeky. But I'm going to wave goodbye. And I want to say, I hope you have a good day. And I'll see you on the other side. Goodbye, everybody.